Alright, so in this video I'm going to talk about possibly the most profound slash terrifying experience I've ever had. So, to start this story off, this was 2 to 3 years ago, and this was back when I worked at Ingalls. And let's see, I would say it was about probably 2 to 2.5 years ago. But anyway, might have been 3 years ago. So I worked at Ingalls. I worked there for about 13 months, maybe 14 months. I think it was just under 14 months. Anyway, around 13 months. And the entire time I worked there, I worked full time, so 40 hours a week. And overall, I didn't really like the job. I mean, sometimes I did, just depending on the day. But really, I didn't like working that many hours a week. I'm 21 years old, and so at the time, I was probably 19. And so, usually, I would say my life was overall pretty stressful. I'm not saying it was the worst. It wasn't the worst job. There's many people who have worse lives, or who have worse lives than I had back then. But my life was pretty stressful, and I'm pretty sure, during this time period, my life was particularly stressful, and which is probably why I had this experience. But basically, what happened was, let's see, I'm trying to remember. It's tough because it was so long ago, but it was probably around 6 a.m., 7 a.m. I'm just guessing, because usually when I have lucid dreams or experiences like this, they happen kind of later in the morning. So it's probably 6, 7, 8 a.m. when this happened. But I just remember being in I'll call it a dream, but I really don't think it was a dream. I mean, I titled this video, I heard the voice of God in a dream, but I really don't think of it as a dream. I think of it as something else that I'm not really sure what it was. But I remember I was at Ingalls, the place I currently worked, and I was walking through the store. I worked in produce, so I was in the produce department. I think I was getting ready to leave the store, like to go home, I think. And I want to say, it was in the middle, it was daytime, so it was probably like, whatever, 12 o'clock, or it was daytime. And I remember as I was walking as I was about to walk past this slant with product on it. I remember looking out the window, and I saw this, the best way I can describe it based on what I remember is the skies parted. So I just saw the sky, the clouds and everything just kind of separated. And the skies just kind of split. And then I just heard, I heard what I can only describe as the voice of God. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And let's see, I remember, so first of all, I don't remember the words, what was actually said. I just remember being in a state of total shock, and I was, I don't know, just pure emotion. And I remember thinking, it's weird, I remember thinking oh my goodness, either this is really happening, the world is ending pretty much, or ... I didn't really finish the thought. It was either this is really happening right now, or, and I don't know, I guess it would have been, or I'm dreaming, or I don't know, but I didn't really finish the thought. It was whoa, it was either this is happening for real, or something else, But, and it's weird, because I remember it being a scary experience, but it was more just I don't know, it's tough to explain it. I think I experienced more fear after I woke up, but during the experience, it was more just pure shock. Is the way I would describe it. But I definitely remember there being like a collective sort of like everybody just kind of stopped, and it's like I got the sense that every single person on earth was like stopped whatever they were doing and was like paying attention to God's voice. And yeah, but it's weird though, because so I had that thought like either this is really happening or, and then shortly after that, the dream ended, or the dream, I don't think it was a dream, the experience ended, and I was awake in my bed. But yeah, it was definitely, from what I remember, I was definitely lucid during the experience, and yeah, it was just a very real experience. And the thing is, after I woke up, I remember being confused. You know, I guess it's similar if you have a nightmare or a really vivid dream, like not a lucid dream, but like just a normal dream that's very detailed and feels very real. And you wake up and you're like, oh, that didn't really happen. It was kind of like that, except I feel like almost magnified. Like I was confused because I thought what I was experiencing was like, well, it was real, but I thought that like that was the reality that I was in, if that makes any sense. And so yeah, I just remember being confused, thinking like, wait, what? Like just looking around, I'm like, hold on, that didn't just happen? Like, so that was interesting. But yeah, and also like the way I would describe God's voice, I'm assuming that's what it was. I don't know what else it could have been. I mean, it's tough to describe, but I mean, I described it to my coworker, because I told her about this experience. My coworker at the time when I worked at Ingles. I just described it as like basically like 1,000 voices together, and it's not exactly accurate, but it's something like that. Yeah, I mean, it did. If I had to say if it sounded masculine or feminine, I would say it sounded like a masculine voice, but not like deep masculine. But anyway, it's hard to, of course it's hard to put into words. But yeah, that's pretty much the experience. I'm trying to think of anything else I left out. Yeah, I definitely remember like feeling that like, it's weird, like how do I explain this? Because it's like I remember feeling that like there was something inside every person that just like automatically and instantly responded or sort of came out whenever God started speaking. And I guess that'd be the soul. I guess you would say that's the soul, or just like everybody's spirit. But I would say that that's probably the soul. It's just like that part of all of us that like knows that there's something beyond this physical world. So yeah, and I feel like it was just it's almost like once God started speaking, it's like there was a light bulb inside of everyone, and that light bulb turned on immediately. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the experience. I was definitely confused and trying to remember. I'm pretty sure I worked that day. I was definitely thinking about that experience that day. Although I don't think I thought about it a whole lot. I think that's the thing. I kind of just, because it was terrifying to me and I didn't know what to make of it, so I kind of just tried to forget about it, and I kind of did forget about it for a while. But yeah, it was a very real experience, and yeah, pretty terrifying, especially once I woke up. But I think during the experience I was also pretty terrified, because I will say this, like I'm not gonna say this means something, but in the moment I did not feel that like God was happy, if that makes sense. And so I think that's why I was scared. Like it didn't seem like God was kind in that moment, or kind, nice, whatever. But again, that doesn't mean, like I do believe that God loves every person. I do believe that. So, but I'm just saying, in that moment, that experience, it did not seem like God was particularly pleased or happy. But again, I don't remember what was even said, so, But anyway, But it didn't sound like he was angry necessarily. It's just, anyway. I'm going to end this video now. So, what do you think about this experience? Have you had any experiences like this? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.